The man who everyone loves to talk about, Paul Pogba. I'm the Peaky Pundit with Full-Time Devils, and I'm here to speak to a few of the fans to get their views on whether he should stay or whether he should go. Mr. Pogba, is he going to be a Manchester United player next season, or are we going to see him heading off to maybe Juve or to Real Madrid?
Don't think any of them can afford him. I really don't, honestly. I think Real Madrid have spent a load of dough, haven't they?
Yep.
Juventus have as well. If we do sell him, we've got to make money on him. You know, the growing mate. What's the growing market for him now? You've got to be looking at, what, 125 million, you know. He's still in contract, so we've not got to worry about that. I'd like him to stay here.
If he does stay, does it concern you with the comments that he did come out and say over in Tokyo?
Yeah, that did concern me, but then again, there's been a lot of people who said stuff about this club. Look at Ronaldo, you know, and he come back the year later and scored 50 odd goals, you know. If we don't want to be here, then we've had bigger and better players leave this club, you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you, if we got the right offer, I wouldn't be bothered. Yeah. But the offer's got to be right. We don't want to be selling him for less or a bit more. He's in contract, he's got 2 or 3 years left, so let's go for 125 million, you know what I mean? And if people want to pay it, then shows the money.
If we don't get the money for him and he is a Manchester United player next season, you know, if we hit a good run of form and his performances are back where we expect them to be, do you think the fans will, you know, get off his back as long as we're seeing him producing on the pitch?
I thought he was half right. Last season, some games, people highlighted him, some of it was almost because who he is and who he plays for. You know, his assists, his goals, you can't knock him. Obviously, some games he didn't stand up to the mark, but who did? Yeah. You know, and I do feel sorry for him, but he doesn't help himself. Social media, look at the Lingard thing, you know what I mean? That was just stupidity. You know, you don't have to come on camera and swear. You know what I mean? Go on holiday. Obviously, my thing, I don't think he's good enough for the club, but he's living my dream. So, fair play to him, but if he stays, he stays. I won't be upset, but the money's got to be right and the deal's got to be right for the club.
Do you feel like, because when Ollie first came in, we saw, I think, the first 3 or 4 games, Pogba was man of the match, I think, in every single one of them games when Ollie first came in, because he was playing a bit as that kind of free role in that number 10 where I think he wants to be playing. We've then seen him go and play left of the midfield free and ask him to do a lot of defensive work, which I don't think is, you know, part of his game. Do you think if we play him in that number 10 and build the team around him, do you think we would see more or better performances from him?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you look at the French team, Kante. Yeah. That's who I'd go out and buy Kante, you know, release Paul and let him do what he does best, you know, because we know what he can do. I'm not saying he won the World Cup on his own, but he had a major playing in that to win that World Cup, you know what I mean? And if I was me, look at all these players, there's a player I'd go for, if Pogba's going to stay, he'd go to Chelsea and say, listen, there's 100 million, we'll take him. And it makes him a better player, and 100 million's a lot of money, but is it in today's money? Yeah. You know, if we get the right player, then he stays. But if he's making noise, he don't want to stay. Thanks for what you've done and all the best. I'm not going to slaughter him on this channel or in the ground, you know what I mean? If you don't want to be with us, then like you say, we've lost bigger and better players.
Looking forward to the new season then, Andy. If we don't bring in another 2 or 3 players, potentially Paul Pogba could be out the door still. Where do you sort of sit with the new season, how it's going to shape up?
If we keep Pogba, as much as he is a total pain, we can make the top 4 because Chelsea got transfer embargo, Tottenham got a new stadium to pay for. Like I say, we could make the top 4, maybe win a cup. I mean, you tell me, this end of the season, this time next May, we've got a cup, top 4, I'm happy. And it's a building block. Yeah. It's a foundation to build to go from there. And that's all I want to be a successful team. I want to win trophies again, but to get to the major trophies, it's going to take a while. But if we can just progress, our main rivals this season are like Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, that's it. The top 2 are on a different level, and you have to accept that as much as it pains you to say it. Yeah. And
I think is that like a bit of an example of where times are, where you've got Bruno Fernandes, who's been strongly linked with United, potentially coming in, and people are saying that rests a lot of if Pogba stays or goes. It looks like he might be heading over to Liverpool in a deal worth about 70 million. Is that kind of the times where players are opting to go and play for a club like Liverpool over United, or do you think it's just all speculation at the moment?
They go to be success. They go to be successful, don't they? I mean, at the moment we haven't got to pull a Champions League football, and if Fernandes goes to Liverpool, Man United won't pay the release clause of 70 million. I've heard they're messing about with Harry Maguire as well. They've done this themselves last year. Yeah. They didn't invest, and now they want the penny pinching again. And you know what I mean? You want to be in the top 4. You want a challenge. If we get Maguire, get Fernandes, that's a good transfer window, and it's like can push up the table. But if they don't get it, we will struggle. So it's their own fault for doing this.
So look, I want to talk as well about a player who always seems to be in the spotlight more often than not for the wrong reasons, Paul Pogba. We heard him out in Tokyo coming out of comments that it might be time for him to take on a new challenge. Where do you stand on Paul Pogba? Is he going to stay at United? Are you happy for him to stay at United?
Happy for him to stay? No, I'm not happy for him to stay at United. He doesn't want to be there. I wouldn't want anyone to play for Man United who doesn't want to be there. Listen, I don't think it's worked as a project, as we talked about before, these Galacticos coming in and stuff. So if he doesn't want to be there, why on earth would you keep a player at Old Trafford that doesn't want to be there? And if he does stay another season, what message does that send to the rest of the players? Because we're supposed to be building something with these young kids that we're bringing in. It sends a completely wrong message, and Pogba will be the one to look up to. You talk about Wan-Bissaka being influenced by those around him. I think week in, week out, you can see Pogba's influence in the team, whether that's a conscious thing on his behalf. But when he's playing great, the whole team play great. But when he's not, nobody plays great. And I just think that, I mean, that might go down to the calibre of players we've got around him, and that's why we are investing. But if he doesn't want to be there, then, you know, later on.
But we saw Ollie come out and publicly say that, look, he wants to keep Paul Pogba and he's an integral part of his plans, you know, for the forthcoming season. I'm sure he would have sat down and had that conversation with Paul at the end of last season. So how much do you think it would have infuriated Ollie to hear, you know, it weren't speculation or rumours, it was Pogba on camera, you know, while he was out doing his endorsement branding with Adidas, you know, saying the things he said on camera. How much do you think that would have infuriated Ollie?
Behind closed door, I imagine no one it's infuriated him. Do I think he was completely surprised? No, not at all. What's upsetting about the Pogba situation, and Lukaku's come out and said something, and I think they both want to leave the club, but Lukaku did it with a bit of respect, saying that the club know where I stand and it's up to the club to make a decision on it, whereas Pogba was playing, you know, just clever git and then just started coming out and saying that I want to leave. Yeah, so I imagine Solskjaer's really furious, but I don't think he'd be totally surprised.
And look, over the years we've seen Yapstam, he was obviously released and sold by Alex Ferguson for the comments he obviously made in his book or whatever. Is that the times have changed, you know, where we've seen Ollie in charge, we've seen, you know, would Sir Alex Ferguson would have stood for comments like that from a player, you know, off season?
No, Ferguson. I mean, well, you can see how Ferguson reacted the first time when Pogba was dragging his feet over signing a new deal, and was happy to see him go. And I'm exactly the same. I think Ferguson himself would be happy to see Pogba go now. He brings more trouble than he's worth in terms of the circus that goes around him. So I'd be quite happy to see him go.
Happy to see him go. Final thoughts then for the season upcoming. We've got to still bring 2 or 3 players in.
2 or 3 players at a minimum. You've got Jones and Smalling at the back. If we start with them 2 at centre back, then we're going to be in for a long season. I would like to see a new centre forward come in. We'll talk about Icardi. I'm not too sure if he's the right person. There was rumours that Sancho as well. But if we're going to buy players for the future, then that's an exciting time to be a United fan. But I don't know where the strategy's from. I don't buy this director of football. It's going to depend on them 2-3 players, and if we go in with start with the same centre backs next season, then it's going to be, I think, 5th or 6th place.
Yeah. What are your views on him? Would you be happy if he left, or do you really want to see him staying at Manchester United?
Well, although the controversies, my friend, I do believe we need the talent, and I think he's not here just for the money. Sincerely, I think the team has been difficulties, and it's represented to everybody. So I'm stay with him all the way. I even think we need world talents to come together also. You know, because this is Manchester United, and the competition is very difficult. So it's not only him going. He needs good players to play together with him, and it's very important because the competition is tough, and we want to be champions. We just don't want to be like winning some games and tying others. We're here for the titles, you know.
Brilliant. Fabio, listen, thank you very much for joining us. We wish you all the best while you're staying here in Manchester. Nice to meet you, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you. The man who everyone loves to talk about. I'm the Peaky Pundit, and I'm here for Full-Time Devils to talk about Paul Pogba. That sounded like I'm the man that they're talking. Guys, I've been the Peaky Pundit with Full-Time Devils. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be bringing you guys some matchday vlogs when the new season starts out, so keep a lookout for them. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the notifications button if you haven't already. Thanks for tuning in.